If music is the vehicle for nostalgia,
then we want to be the cops chasing after it.
I'm Mal,
And I'm El.
and this is...
Do you remember that song? It's a podcast where we reminisce about some of our best memories.
Tied to some of our favorite songs.
So sit back as we ask the question, do you remember that song? All right.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Hey. What do horses eat? Hey.
Hey, I haze for horses. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening,
Good day.
and good night.
Good day to you.
Yes. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that question right away, but yeah, we're back. We changed clothes, as
Again.
you can see.
Yes, of course.
If
Well,
you can see.
it's a different day, Mal.
It
It's a
is.
different week, man.
Every day is a new day.
We're back with do you remember that song? It's a podcast where we just like the intro said, we talk about some songs, about our memories.
It's just nostalgia. That's what it is. It's
that
that
good stuff.
nostalgia.
Yeah, get that nice hit of nostalgia going,
Yeah, that dopamine nostalgia.
Well, I wanted to ask you a question. It's a pretty serious question.
It's a very serious one.
Yeah. Do you remember that song, I Will Follow You Into the Dark?
Look at my
By
serious
Death
face.
Cab for Cutie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I remember that. It was a good song.
That was a good song. This song came out, it was on Death Cab for Cutie's fifth album, Plans.
Mhm.
Came out in 2005. And this is one of those, what?
I just realized that I've been reading that wrong this entire time.
What?
I thought it said planes.
Planes? Oh, it's Plans. Yeah.
Plans.
No, it's Plans.
I went to
That's all right.
college.
It's all right. It's good. It's all
Plans.
good. Plans was came out in 2005, and again, all of this, like a lot of this music for me was at a time when I was really starting to like find my own music and stuff that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And I was really I was in middle school, and I was really into I started playing guitar and made friends in orchestra. And I remember the first time I really like heard this or really like enjoyed hearing it or like realized that like I really liked the song was in orchestra. Our teacher, who I guess will keep their name anonymous
Was
at
that
this point.
middle school?
This was the same teacher we both had.
I don't know. She was cool.
Well, I mean, yeah, she was cool.
She was
well, I
the
was
bomb.
so all right, wait. I had a crush on this middle school teacher. You know what I
I
mean?
think we all did.
Yeah, she was just like a hip teacher,
She was one
and-
of those teachers that like, okay, because I remember her, and I think we all did, but she was really young. I think she was just like out of school,
I don't know.
out of college, but when she became our teacher, but she was really cool. She actually got me into the classical music and orchestral
Well,
music.
yeah, so I remember like she really liked Trans-Siberian Orchestra,
Yes.
that was a
Yes.
really cool. I think she got all of us into a lot of really good music, but I do remember she had this album, and like it was one of those days where it was like not a whole lot going on. And I think it was
Yeah.
like after like we had just finished like preparing stuff and did like a concert or whatever, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it was like, you always had like kind of
That
like
down
an
day.
easy day.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was playing some music, and I remember this song came on, and I was like, this is such a cool song. So the reason why I felt this way about this song was because it's like I said, I was just learning guitar,
Yeah.
and it was one of those songs where I was like, I feel like I could learn this song.
Yeah.
Because this song it's an acoustic song, and it's pretty much just acoustic and voice. I think it is. It's just the acoustic guitar and a voice singing,
Yeah.
and it was such a neat tune and like chord progression that like I was like excited to learn it. But yeah, the first time I ever heard this was in orchestra, from our orchestra teacher. And then I do remember after that, like, so I couldn't, like, I didn't have the song myself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like we were saying, like, it was hard back in those days to like really find music. You had to either buy it, which I had no money to buy music,
burn it
from like a friend,
or steal it.
Yes.
Napster, LimeWire.
Yeah, I mean, I know those kind of went away earlier, but there were still definitely like websites where you could like rip the MP3s of like songs from.
And YouTube, they used to be able to.
Oh yeah, you used to be able to download music from YouTube.
Music. Yeah.
I do remember though. So this was actually, I forget what year this. I mean, I was in middle school, obviously, but I learned this hack, man. Like you could go to the local library. And they used to have like, they always had CDs.
Yeah.
And somebody donated Death Cab for Cutie's plans.
Oh gosh. That's so cool.
And so like I got a lot of my music.
Shout out to that person, because whoever that person was, they were like, you know what? Somebody's going to need to listen to this. Like then maybe they got broken up with, maybe, they were going through something and they were like, you know what? I'm done with this. I need to pass this on. So some young,
I mean, it also might have been because it's like around 2005, I think, is when a lot of like they were really pushing like iTunes and just like having your music virtual. People weren't buying
digital music.
Music was going a little bit more digital, so people weren't buying CDs as much. And I think maybe it was just like someone just decided to start, hawking their collection and moving everything over. But
I mean, they
to our benefit,
Well, that was the thing, is like, okay, this is a different tangent, and this is kind of grinds my gears list, because we spend our childhood on this financial embargo. We had this financial embargo because you're a child, you don't get money, you don't have a job. The only way you get money is either asking your parents or doing child labor of some kind, and you get paid under the table.
Yeah.
Example, our grandpa and taking us to go mow lawns and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You got your lemonade stand, and therefore you're risking getting abducted on the side of the road, or you're
saying there's not a whole lot of avenues for kids to be making income.
Yeah, there's no income for kids unless your parents were giving you an allowance. And so therefore only the kids who had wealthy parents had the new CDs, had the new stuff. And so therefore they made it so that way, like, people like you and me, we had to purchase our stuff. And so when you purchased it, when you finally got the money together, had enough birthdays, lost enough teeth, you used that money to buy things. And when you bought them, there wasn't the company, the overlord saying, you now owe me money off of that.
Yeah.
You owned it. You had the disc. You played it in your car. You took it to your brother's party. You put it in a CD player. You played it there. Nobody cared. You had a fundraiser or something like that. You took your CD out. You slapped it in. Played music. Nobody had an issue. Nowadays, we have to pay. What was it? I was looking at Apple Music. Mm-hmm. It's like $10 a month.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I gave you money back in 2005 for this music, and you want to charge me $10 a month to be able to listen to it? Like, I already gave you the money, man. Like, give me my product.
I mean, so like that kind of like comes into the question of like owning a physical version of something and the digital version, right?
And that's
like, there's a part of me that, like, with video games, I'm like, I want to own the physical disc.
Yeah.
But there's a new part of me that's like, I hate having to switch the disc out. Like
it's the price of convenience.
Yep.
And I don't like that. I mean, like even our streaming services, they have ads. Like when we were kids, you got cable and you got to watch any channel you wanted, and you had to deal with the ads,
the
commercials. Now I pay streaming services so that way we don't get bumped from anything. But I paid streaming services
to not have the
ads.
Yeah.
And then 10 years later, they're like, hey, guess what? You missed commercials. And now I'm like sitting there and halfway through watching a nondescript movie that I don't want to get busted for. Like halfway in the middle of it, all of a sudden I'm like, oh, did you think about doing this thing about this stuff? And you should buy our product. And I'm like, no, I want to see how the Jedi fight. I want to finish my lightsaber battle.
I want to know what happens. I agree. I agree that like streaming is getting a little ridiculous for sure.
But that was the beauty of having a CD back in the day. You
sure.
owned it.
Mm-hmm.
You had the music. You've essentially purchased the product. It's in your greasy little hands.
Do you still have CDs?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been collecting them.
I have a giant folder of CDs.
Yes.
That I have. I don't ever listen to them, but they're like my like apocalypse. You know what I mean?
Your apocalypse plan.
Yeah. You know, it's like if like you know,
like
the internet decides to go down and we all go back to the Stone Age, then at least I'll have a CD player and CDs and I can listen to music. You know what I mean?
Like what's his name? The that one dude who bought up all those VHSs.
Oh yeah. Is he like he's like the largest like VHS collection in the world, right?
Yeah. I can't remember what his name is.
Yeah.
He's an actor.
Oh yeah. It was an actor, wasn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, he bought up all the VHSs and I feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
He owns them now.
Yeah, so
sorry. Tangent. You got the music from the library.
Yeah, music. Oh yeah, that's where we are coming from. But yeah, no, I over the years I actually ended up getting quite a bit of music from the library, which is awesome. You know, it was nice actually. It was like a pre like Spotify, Apple Music way of like getting like to browse and try something different without like having to pay.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It was like that's that was like when like the album cover was like super important because it like would draw someone in to like check it out. And I can't tell you how many times that happened with like different artists where I was like, oh, that's a cool album cover, and then I'm like, oh, hey, what is this music? Like I think I did that with I hadn't really ever seen the full album of Modest Mouse, the Moon in Antarctica.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And yeah, it was kind of that's kind of an interesting, interesting cover. And I got that one from the library too. But yeah, it's this song though, like in particular, definitely kind of like I do have that like remembrance of like being in orchestra class, listening to it for the first time, and really like being curious about like, oh, what are they playing? What are these chords? Like, I need to like go home and like get on the computer and look up the chord progression now because I need to learn it,
Well, because back in the day when you were in orchestra, you played cello. Did you ever try to translate it to the cello?
No,
oh, okay.
No. I felt more comfortable with guitar.
Yeah.
The only reason I felt comfortable is because I could go on the internet and look up the tablature or the chords online, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And someone posted them there,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure you could like figure something out on the cello, but I didn't have a cello at home, you know what I mean? Like it was just
You didn't take the practice one from school?
I don't think so. I don't feel like I did.
Oh.
I feel like
and that's why we didn't do it later on in life.
Probably, yeah.
I never got that first chair.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, if you've never heard this song, check it out. It's a moody song.
Yeah.
And it's a little heavy in the context of it, but
Oh, I love that. I love it.
yeah, it's pretty much, describing like how much love someone. It's like, you know what, if I think there's a line in there that says like, if heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, illuminate the nose on their vacancy signs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, if there was nowhere to go after this life and it was just darkness, then I will still follow you.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's really pretty.
It's lovely.
It's lovely in a terrifying way.
I mean, this song would go on my like driving in the rain.
Yeah,
kind of
it's a good sad love song.
Yeah.
You're just like in that like what overcast kind of
overcast
movie. Yeah, put this on that one. But if you haven't listened to it, check it out. Death Cab for Cutie, I Will Follow You Into the Dark, and we'll be right back with some more music.
Yep. Then follow us into the dark. What's up, guys? We're back and we're jumping right back into the light here.
Jumping in.
And with that, I gotta ask you the question. Do you remember that song? Santeria.
Santeria by Sublime?
By Sublime.
Yes, I do remember that song.
Okay, so this song.
Tell me about it. Tell me about your experience with Santeria. Not actual Santeria, but
no. I didn't practice Santeria, and I don't have a crystal ball. But I did have $1 million, but I spent it all.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah. But so this song, I think it has a special place in my heart because when it came out back in 1996, in the 1900s, as the kids say nowadays, my brother had, I don't know where he got it. I don't know if someone burned it for him or whatever, but he had a CD of Sublime, and I don't know if it was off the What I Got album or the Sublime album. I'm not sure which one it was, but the memory that I have is we had the old school Sega Genesis, Sega Genesis, and it was like the old school one where you put in the cartridge, hit the button, turns on, and my brother and I would sit in our room because that's when we had the TV and the big boxy TV.
Yeah.
The 50-pound TV, and so we put it up on our dresser, and us being boys, our room was always a wreck. Yeah. And but we had enough space to like sit down and play the Sega Genesis, and the game that I remember specifically playing and this song came on was the Jungle Book. And I don't know if you like ever played the Jungle Book on the Sega Genesis, but that game is ridiculous. Like, I don't know why, but for some reason when they came out with those games, like you had the Lion King, you had the Jungle Book, a few other movies. They turned them into video games. They made them ridiculously hard to play. I saw like an article about that recently, and they said they admitted Disney. One of the developers said that they received direction from Disney, specifically for the Lion King game, to make it extremely hard, so that it would require people to play it for a longer period of time. And so you're right. I remember playing it on your Sega Genesis, and it was like, oh, what is this? Like, why would they make it so hard? I mean, I think recently I even tried playing it again, and I couldn't. Like with my.
Do you still have your Sega?
Yeah.
Does it still work?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, actually, we even have the Nintendo Entertainment Center, and it still
original
works.
NES.
Yeah,
Nice.
and so it's we tried to take care of everything,
Right,
because
right.
that's the world we lived in. Was you take care of things,
Yeah.
and you keep smacking them around a few times, like taps on everything.
Yeah.
Eventually, it'll work and keep it together. But yeah, no. Back to Santeria. I remember my brother and I were playing. Well, it was mostly him because he was a lot older than me, and if I wanted to play, I had to physically fight him to
Right.
get in a turn.
Yeah.
And so he's playing, and I remember it just being like a good memory of just like sitting there watching him play, and it came on, and it's a super simple, super chill song, just like a good time.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I hear it, it always takes me back to my childhood. It has that good nostalgia factor to it.
Yeah, it's definitely a catchy tune, and you don't even like know what the lyrics mean, but you can still sing along. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
when you were a kid,
And I think that's the cool thing is you get to feel like a part of something bigger.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, now listening and remembering back to like our past conversations that we've had in this in this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of what I wanted to feel when I was growing up is feeling a part of things, and I think that's the cool thing about this song is that it made me feel like a part.
It like connected
me to like everyone else, because
do you feel like it like specifically like in this instance, right, connected you with your brother?
Yeah,
like you guys bonded over like, oh, this is a cool song.
Yeah, and as we got older, when we would hang out or listen to music or something, or he'd be driving us somewhere, he'd be like, "Oh, hey, you want to listen to Santeria?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And he'd throw it in.
Yeah.
And we'd be just driving anywhere, and it was kind of like the bonding song.
Yeah.
And so, there's a few of them that I remember that, but specifically Santeria was one of them.
Yeah.
And I think What I Got was also another one of Sublime's. And I think the cool thing is that like later on, other people I met who also came up during the 90s had similar experiences with the same songs.
Yeah.
Well, the same songs, and specifically Santeria.
Right.
Because whenever anyone listens to it, it seems like they all just want to chill out, smoke something, hang out, just be a part.
Yeah.
And I think that's the cool thing. I think, that is the thing about music, is it brings people together.
Right. Yeah. I can't think of like when I first heard this song. Sublime was one of those bands that like I didn't really listen to when I was younger until I got older. You know what I mean? Probably just because of the content. But
I mean, it's definitely content you don't want to expose
like your young children to.
Yeah.
But the song itself, like you said, is like, it's a good song. It's super catchy. And it's one of those songs that someone almost guarantees sings anytime you're at like a karaoke or something.
Yeah.
Like someone tries to sing Santeria, and it's fun because the whole crowd gets into it. Everybody sings along with it. You know what I mean? So it's a good karaoke song for sure.
Well, and I think it's got that good like ska kind of reggae kind of a feel to it.
Right.
And I don't know. I mean, when I think of like that, I think of like being stuck on the freeway on like in like California kind of vibe. Like, yeah, it's not a good deal, but I mean, at least I'm alive and I got what I got, and don't need anything else.
Nice. We've added that to the playlist.
Yeah, it's all been added to the playlist. So if you guys haven't heard it or are just wanting to run down your nostalgia lane, go ahead, check it out. And we'll just keep adding them on as we go.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, and we'll catch you guys on the side B.
Side B. That's gonna be the new podcast, right?
Yeah, the After Dark podcast.
Oh yeah.
Side
well,
B.
that's gonna be the next podcast after Side B is the After Dark podcast.
Oh yeah, Side B After Dark.
Yeah. We're gonna do a few shows. We're just gonna keep making shows until either someone tells us to stop,
or they give us enough money,
or we actually land some sponsorships. It's just at this point it's throw as many on the board and see what sticks. You know? I'm just kidding. We really care about the content we make. Okay, we're trying.
We love these songs.
Yeah, no. Hit us up and
let us know what you think.
Yeah. Have a good week, and we'll see you next time.